What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, I was talking to a friend of mine last night about various different topics, sports, a little bit of politics, and then the conversation moved to another uh, area that you might hear me talk about a lot, entertainment. And I started talking about the upcoming Coming to America movie with Eddie Murphy. So the first thing he told me is, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to watch it because I've been hearing a lot of bad reviews, a lot of bad things. So I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I just been hearing it's not that funny. So I told him, I said, look, man, don't go by these reviews, okay? Don't go by these reviews. Don't let that stop you from supporting Eddie Murphy. Don't let that stop you from going over to Amazon Prime or whatever you got to do to support Eddie Murphy and this project that he's been working on, okay? I have faith in Eddie Murphy. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly, what Coming to America was, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty funny. Look, um, ever since Coming to America, which you can argue was the peak of Eddie Murphy's movie career, I've noticed a lot of his movies have gotten bad reviews. A lot of them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some bad movies he's made. I've seen Pluto Nash. Okay, that's pretty awful. He's made some bad movies. But let me ask you this. Did you know that Harlem Nights had bad reviews? A lot of people complained that it wasn't that particularly funny and the pacing was bad and, the script wasn't that funny or that believable or whatever. And last I checked, Harlem Nights is a classic in our community, right? And when I say our community, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, there is a definite agenda against Eddie Murphy. I did a video maybe about 7 years ago now, maybe going on 8 years ago, where I debunked this myth about how Eddie Murphy was a washed up movie star. Okay? I did a video which proved that ever since at least 1994, from 1994 until 2014, and I would argue probably since then, at least during that 20-year period, Eddie Murphy's movies did better on average per movie than both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. But yet you never hear that tag of washed up movie star with those two guys. How many chances did they get? How many bombs after bombs after bombs did Arnold Schwarzenegger get to make with the Terminator franchise before he finally said, "Okay, I'm sorry, I have to give it up. It's not worth anymore." He just gave it up after the last movie tanked. Now look, I'll give Sylvester some credit. He was able to basically just make Rocky into Creed, another character. You know, he's had some success with those movies. But Sylvester Stallone's had some movies that literally didn't even gross $1 million in the box office over the past 15, 20 years. He's had some serious bombs. But Eddie, for some reason, gets more flack. All I'm saying is this, you know, Boomerang had bad reviews. I love Boomerang. Most people that I know found Boomerang to be a good movie. Beverly Hills Cop 3 wasn't great, but it's not, the atrocity that they try to make it out to be. Vampire in Brooklyn, I think, is actually a decent movie. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's funny that the one movie they give him credit for is a remake of a Jerry Lewis movie, The Nutty Professor, right? I think Metro wasn't a bad movie. That had terrible reviews. The one movie that I don't understand for the life of me how bad reviews it got was Norbit. Norbit I thought was terrible because of the reviews. They said, "Oh man, this movie is." Well, they were saying how terrible this fucking movie was. Oh my God, Norbit is terrible. Don't go waste your money. It's terrible. I watched Norbit. It's the funniest fucking one of the funniest movies of the year. But they'll tell you that it sucks. And you know, Dolomite. I watched that on Netflix. It's a great movie. But for some reason, people always give Eddie Murphy flack. But you know what? Fuck them. Okay? Fuck those people. These are the same people that, you know, a lot of them that gave Dave Chappelle's uh, comedy special Sticks and Stones a bad rating. But the viewership and the reviews, or people that actually watched it, say something different, right? Just like people that watch Eddie Murphy when he made his triumphant return to Saturday Night Live, that says something. Fuck these fucking, you know, elite, liberal, uh, you know, bad taste having comedy fucks, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to dictate to you and I what we should find appropriate and what we should find funny. In my opinion, it's just mine, Eddie Murphy is on the Mount Rushmore of comedy, period. I will sing his praises until I draw my last breath. Eddie Murphy saved Saturday Night Live. He saved that show, okay? If it wasn't for Eddie Murphy, Saturday Night Live would have probably been canceled all the way back in 1981 or 1982. Even then, even there in that community, in that family, he got disrespected by David Spade. Now they're supposed to be able to make jokes about people, but you don't make jokes about family. And that's what got Eddie Murphy pissed off because Eddie Murphy is part of the Saturday Night Live family. He's the most successful cast member ever. And I think that rubs some people the wrong way. Yeah, I am talking about the race factor. This is one of the most brilliant comedians I've ever seen. He can ad lib. He can do sketch comedy. He's brilliant in films. He can do a host of various characters. You know, he's so talented. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a great stand-up. He's a great physical comedian. As he's gotten older, and he can't rely on physical comedy anymore, he's shown his versatility. He's just a funny fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? He can put on prosthetics to the point, and you don't even realize that's him. When I first watched Coming to America, when I was a kid, I think I was 8 years old, I didn't even know that he was that Jewish man in the barbershop. I didn't know that was him. Not until I think maybe 2 years later that I found out that was him. And how in the world are they giving you bad reviews now when most of these people haven't even seen a screening of it? They haven't seen any screening of this movie, and they're already giving bad reviews. But that's just the play, you know? That's what they do. A lot of people have been trying to destroy this man's career and his legacy for decades. The same way they've been trying to ruin Bill Cosby's reputation and his career. It's the same powers to be. Because Eddie Murphy was that nigga that they can't control. Just like Dave Chappelle was and is that nigga that they can't control. And when they can't control a nigga, they resent it. And they try to ruin his fucking career. But you know what? Fuck them. Okay? Fuck those greedy bastards in the movie industry. Fuck those greedy bastards on television that try to put people in dresses and make them do all this type of shit that they don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? And when I say make them do all these things they don't want to do, I'm talking about a lot of shit. Okay? A lot of demeaning shit. You know what I'm saying? The late Tiny Lister. talked about that in an interview recently, well, a couple years ago. He talked about how, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't sell his soul for shit. He's not going to put on a dress. What are you talking about? I'm not going to put on a dress. Trying to make you put on a dress. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit I'm not going to do. I'm a man. I'm going to do a part that's for a man. And yeah, he was talking about goddamn Ving Rhames getting fucked in the ass in Pulp Fiction. You know what I'm saying? To get put on in Hollywood. Not saying that he actually got fucked in the ass, but the scene implies that, right? And then, Ving Rhames had a movie where he was a drag and shit. You know what I'm saying? Some actors, they're just not going to do that shit. And all for what? A little string where he did some movies. He got replaced by another new hot nigga. So at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and support Eddie Murphy, man. And I have faith in him that this is going to be a funny movie. It should be out in March on Prime Time, Amazon Prime Time. It's been many years waiting. You know, look, are most sequels as funny as the original or as good as the original? No. But, you know, there have been a lot of good sequels when it comes to comedy. The Naked Gun 2.5, Smell of Fear was very funny. Was it as funny as the first movie? Maybe not quite as great. It was funny. Airplane 2 was pretty funny to me. Um, this is one thing you can say though. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make is when they rush back to do a sequel. You know what I'm saying? When they're pressured by the success of the first movie and they rush back and do a sequel the next year, usually it sucks. The fact that it's taken Eddie Murphy this long to do a sequel, and I've heard him and Arsenio have been doing writes and rewrites of a script. So this is something they've been working on for quite some time. I have a lot of faith in the comedic abilities of Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy and Tracy Morgan and even what's her name the chick from Saturday Night Live, Jones, whatever her name is. I have a lot of faith in their comedic abilities and their comedic senses. Okay, so at the end of the day, any movie with them and Wesley Snipes and John Amos, what I'm saying, James Earl Jones, you know, I'm gonna watch it. I think it's gonna be pretty good. But tell me what you guys think.